What if I told you that one of the most powerful women in music was once told she'd never make it? The stage lights flickered and the crowd roared. Beyoncé stood there, commanding the stage like a queen. But behind the glamour, there was a girl who had fought harder than anyone could imagine. She was rejected from her first talent show. She was told she wasn't good enough. She faced brutal industry politics before she even got her first break. As a child, she trained endlessly. She wasn't just born talented, she created her success. Her father, Matthew Knowles, saw her potential and made a decision that would change everything. He quit his six-figure job to manage her career. People called him crazy. They said she would fail. But Beyoncé wasn't about to let anyone define her destiny. This was only the beginning. Success didn't come easy. Destiny's Child was formed, but not everyone believed in them. Their first record deal was a disaster. They were almost dropped from their label before they even got started. At just 15 years old, Beyoncé experienced her first taste of betrayal. Two original members left the group, lawsuits followed, and the media painted Beyoncé as the villain. Maybe this isn't for me, she thought. But then something changed. Instead of quitting, she used the pain as fuel. Survivor became their biggest anthem, and suddenly, the world saw who Beyoncé really was. A fighter who never backed down. Leaving Destiny's Child wasn't just a career move, it was a risk. Could she stand on her own? Would the world accept her without a group? Was she ready to prove herself? The pressure was enormous. But then she dropped Crazy in Love. It wasn't just a hit, it was a revolution. This is it, she told herself. She didn't just prove she could do it alone. She set a new standard for female artists worldwide, but success comes with a price. And for Beyoncé, that price was privacy, peace, and the constant pressure to be perfect. The media followed her every move. The industry demanded perfection. She had to prove herself again and again. And then came the most painful betrayal of her life. The world saw her perfect relationship with Jay-Z. But behind the scenes, cracks were forming. What happens when love and loyalty are tested? She poured her pain into lemonade, turning heartbreak into one of the most powerful artistic statements ever made. Instead of falling apart, she became stronger. This wasn't just about music anymore. It was about power, resilience, and rewriting the rules of the game. Beyoncé was no longer just a singer. She was a movement. She built Parkwood Entertainment, taking full control of her music and image. She turned her name into a billion-dollar empire. She refused to be controlled by anyone. If they won't give you a seat at the table, build your own table. She became the first Black woman to headline Coachella, delivering a performance that wasn't just music, it was a cultural shift. Every move she made was calculated. Every project had a purpose. This wasn't just about Beyoncé anymore. It was about legacy. She spoke out about race, gender, and equality. She used her music to empower and educate. She proved that pop culture could be political. Formation wasn't just a song. It was a statement. She didn't just entertain, she educated, she challenged, she led. And for the first time in history, the world saw that music could be a revolution. But Beyoncé wasn't done yet, because history is written by those who dare to change it. Fame came at a cost. Motherhood changed everything. She had to balance being a mother, a wife, and an icon. She nearly died giving birth to her twins. She faced severe pregnancy complications, pushing her body to the limit. I had to rebuild myself from the inside out. She wasn't just Beyoncé the superstar, she was Beyoncé the survivor. And in that survival, she found something even more powerful. A new mission beyond music. One night, Beyoncé stood on stage looking at a sea of people chanting her name. But she knew the truth. This isn't just about me. It's about all of us. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need validation to be powerful. You don't have to fit into anyone's idea of success. Her journey wasn't just about breaking records. It was about breaking barriers. You are enough. You always were. And as the lights dimmed, Beyoncé walked off the stage, knowing that her legacy would live far beyond the music. 2016 marked a turning point in Beyoncé's career and personal life. The release of Lemonade wasn't just another album, it was a statement, a deeply personal, raw, and brutally honest project that changed how the world saw her. She exposed the pain of betrayal. She addressed race, feminism, and Black identity. She turned vulnerability into power. For years, her marriage to Jay-Z had been idolized as perfect. But behind closed doors, Beyoncé faced one of the most challenging periods of her life. Infidelity, heartbreak, and public scrutiny threatened to shatter everything she had built. What happens when love and trust are broken? Instead of hiding, she turned her pain into art. Songs like Sorry, Hold Up, and Pray You Catch Me painted a picture of a woman navigating through rage, betrayal, self-discovery, and ultimately forgiveness. But Lemonade wasn't just about her marriage, it was about Black womanhood, generational trauma, and resilience. It was an anthem for women who had been wronged, for voices that had been silenced, and for those who refused to be broken. It wasn't just an album, it was a revolution. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, received universal acclaim, and won numerous awards. But more than the accolades, Lemonade proved that Beyoncé was no longer just an artist. She was a storyteller, a leader, a movement. She had spoken her truth, and the world listened. 2018 brought another milestone, a performance that would redefine Coachella forever. Beyoncé became the first Black woman to headline the festival. She transformed the stage into a tribute to historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs. She used the moment to celebrate Black excellence. Most artists treat Coachella as just another show, but Beyoncé saw it as an opportunity to make history. What if I could create a performance that would be studied for generations? She didn't just perform, she built a cultural experience. Her set featured a 200-person marching band, steppers, and dancers, all inspired by HBCU traditions. She honored Black sororities, fraternities, and the legacy of institutions that shaped generations of African Americans. This is bigger than music. This is about heritage, pride, and representation. Her documentary Homecoming revealed the grueling 8 months of preparation it took to bring the vision to life. She had just given birth to twins via emergency C-section. Her body was weak, but her determination was unshaken. She rehearsed for 12-hour days. She followed a strict diet, cutting out sugar, dairy, and alcohol. She lost 60 pounds and rebuilt herself physically and mentally. When she finally stepped on that stage, she wasn't just a performer, she was a force of nature. The performance was hailed as one of the greatest live shows in music history, proving once again that Beyoncé wasn't here just to entertain. She was here to inspire. She didn't just make history, she became history. By 2022, Beyoncé had already rewritten history. She had sold over 200 million records. She had won more Grammys than any other female artist. She had revolutionized the music industry. But she wasn't done. What if music could be a celebration of freedom? That question led to Renaissance, a bold tribute to dance music, queer culture, and artistic evolution. She honored the pioneers of house and ballroom music. She brought joy in a time when the world needed it most. She made history again. Break My Soul became an anthem of resilience. At the 2023 Grammys, she became the most awarded artist of all time. Holding her 32nd trophy, she simply said, "Thank you for opening doors for me. Now I will open doors for others." Her journey wasn't just about success, it was about empowerment, legacy, and rewriting the rules forever.